Hello everyone! Welcome to your weekly tech update, the show that explores the newest, coolest, and sometimes admittedly mind-boggling side of tech available on the interwebs. I am your tech leader, Ray McNeil. Coming up on the program today, we're talking the Motorola Razr. It's one of the few folding screen phones on the market. Well, its hinge was just put through a durability test, and it only lasted 27,000 folds. That's only a year or two of use. We'll talk about that and the Emoji jacket, which can help cyclists communicate their never-ending rage to drivers. And happening in this week's What The, AI helped upscale an antique 1896 film to 4K. And you gotta check the results out for yourself. That and a whole lot more coming up on today's edition of your weekly tech update next. Hi everyone. Since foldable phones are still far from common, a lot of potential customers want to know how durable they are before shelling out up to $2,000 for one. CNET has put the new Motorola Razr to the test by folding it repeatedly for thousands of times using a machine called the FoldBot by SquareTrade. The result? Its hinge started to act, quote, wonky by around 27,000 folds. To note, a 2017 study found that Americans check their phones 80 times per day. That means the Razr could start showing problems within a year. Now, last year, CNET conducted the same test on the Samsung Galaxy Fold, which lasted for 14 hours or 119,000 folds on the machine. The FoldBot was actually designed to test Samsung's device, but the publication had it modified for the Razr with the goal of reaching 100,000 folds. However, the host of the live stream had to cut the testing short when the phone's hinge started making noises and showing resistance after almost 4 hours. It also looked uneven and out of alignment when the phone is closed. That said, the Razr screen still worked and looked just fine even after its hinge started giving out. The Galaxy Fold screen broke by the end of the test. But then again, it lasted much longer and the machine was calibrated to fold it all the way through each time. For the Razr test, the machine only folded the device halfway. The federal government has granted its first driverless car exemption. Neuro's second-generation vehicle, R2, was approved for regulatory exemption by the U.S. Department of Transportation and National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration. This decision provides regulatory certainty for Neuro to operate the second-generation self-driving vehicle built to carry packages instead of people. The DOT exemption supports Neuro's development of the zero-occupant R2 on public roads without certain equipment required for passenger vehicles. Side and rear view mirrors, for instance, are replaced with cameras and sensors. The windshield is exchanged for a more protective front panel, a milestone for industry regulation. NHTSA's decision comes after 3 years of discussion and calibration between the government agency and Neuro. The exemption request, submitted in October of 2018, garnered support from officials in the city of Scottsdale, Arizona. That's where Neuro piloted its first-gen vehicle, delivery partner Kroger, other automakers, autonomous tech firms, clean energy advocates, and local citizens. R2 will soon join Neuro's fleet of self-driving Prius vehicles in Houston, making deliveries to consumers on public roads. DOT has taken a critical first step in enabling safety innovations, but exemptions are a temporary fix for an industry that's reimagining what it means to drive. Moving forward, we must modernize the existing regulations that never envisioned a vehicle without a driver or occupants. And everyone in the industry must work to ensure self-driving vehicle technology is tested and deployed in the safest possible vehicles. Nuro was founded in 2016, with driverless pods hit the road in December of 2018, ferrying groceries to Scottsdale locals. Nuro teamed up with Domino's and Walmart last year to serve select Houston households as well. This exemption and the second-generation Nuro vehicle are first for the autonomous vehicle industry, and they will be followed by many, many more. And happening in this week's Elon Musk news, SpaceX is planning to spin out and pursue a public offering of its budding space internet business, Starlink, giving investors a chance to buy into one of the most promising operations within the closely held company. Space Exploration Technologies Corporation has already launched more than 240 satellites to build out Starlink, which will start delivering internet access to customers from space sometime this summer. President Gwynne Shotwell said Thursday at a private investor event hosted by JP Morgan Chase and Company in Miami, "Right now, we are a private company. But Starlink is the right kind of business that we can go ahead and take public. That particular piece is an element of the business that we are likely to spin out and go public with," they said. Public investors up to this point had limited ways to own a piece of SpaceX, which has become one of the most richly valued venture-backed companies in the U.S. by dominating the commercial rocket industry. It flies satellites into orbit for customers, including the U.S. military, carries cargo to the International Space Station, and aims to start flying NASA astronauts and high-paying tourists soon as well. But the rocket launch business remains competitive and tough. Starlink and its ability to provide high-speed internet access across the globe has helped private investors in SpaceX justify a roughly $33 billion valuation. Musk has long maintained that the parent is unlikely to go public until it is regularly ferrying people to Mars. SpaceX is one of a handful of players that wants to build out a space internet system that can serve people who struggle to access the web today via fiber optic and cellular connections. Starlink would beam down relatively high-speed data from its network of satellites orbiting Earth. Over the coming years, SpaceX intends to place thousands of satellites into orbit and will increase the bandwidth of its service with each new launch. Exactly how many people will be willing to pay for this service remains an open question.